What made you get into film?
Desperation.
I actually don't know how to reply to that.
I'm Max Albrecht.
My name's Craig Thorpe.
I am Holly Turner.
I feel really bad because I didn't ask what Jack's name was, just because I forgot.
The story behind my film is a long-awaited revenge plot between two estranged brothers. It's kind of also a bit about a redemption as well, about how you can bring yourself back from a dark place. I just wanted to explore, and I've always been a big fan of the twist in a story, particularly, say, the twist in this film is it's rather unexpected, and you don't see it coming out, and I hope it kind of makes sense at the end, because a lot of feedback I got was it comes out of nowhere, so you need to kind of think, well, a lot of plot twists come out of nowhere, so...
Any sort of messages for, maybe other creators, other filmmakers, other actors in COVID times, What's been getting you through, what's been keeping you motivated?
Well, it's one of them things, it's like, you've got to remember that, whatever your personal situation is with it, everyone's in the same boat, everybody's struggling, no matter where you're from or what's going on, but I think what's keeping me through it is you just have to just think, it's what I want to do, and just commit to that. If you know that that's what you want to do, there's no point in letting one thing set you back, because at the end of the day, whatever people might say, this industry is not going to go away. It's a massive industry, and eventually, think about after COVID passes and stuff, how much creativity is going to come out from all these people that have not had the opportunity. It's just going to, if anything, it's going to flourish, and just opportunities where you can go out and do bits of filming, like me and Craig, when we could, we met up and did some bits of filming and stuff, just to keep ourselves busy and keep ourselves motivated and in the mood. And obviously, you've always got Zoom, Skype, and different ways of keeping in contact with other filmmakers and discussing ideas and stuff for when you can film. So if you just keep ideas flowing, keep working on even writing your own little projects and stuff, there's no reason why you can't just keep them juices flowing until you can actually get out there and make it.
It's been difficult because you're not entirely sure what you can organise in terms of film shoots. You don't really know what sort of restrictions you can operate within, certain, let's say, location restrictions and crew restrictions. But on the other hand, it's allowed me the opportunity to get a lot of writing done and really explore the writing side of things.
To everybody at my kind of level and everyone just starting out, try to keep faith. It's very, very difficult, but it's incredibly rewarding, and it's very rewarding. And sometimes, if you're conscious about how it's going, if you're constantly checking your progress against yourself, then it's easy to feel like you're not going anywhere. You can have a really productive week and you still feel like you're not going anywhere. But it's when you get so caught up in the project for the sake of it, and you get really into a role if you're acting, or you get really into a script if you're writing, and you're no longer thinking about you as the person or you as the career, and that's actually when you make the most progress. You suddenly stop after writing that script, or you stop after you've acted in that film, and you suddenly realise I've come quite a long way in that space of time. So yeah, you make progress when you're not looking. So, turn a blind eye to yourself every now and then. Get lost in a project.
It's very hard to sort of film when everyone has to be miles away from each other. But yeah, my friend approached me with a kind of like a Zoom style film. Zoom, the streaming service, obviously, the video chat. And that was really interesting.
How long have you known Craig, and why did you both decide to work together for this film?
So I met Craig about 2.5 years ago now. A couple of people that we knew we were all going to go on the NYFA course decided to meet up and have a pint, really. Very casual, but lovely to get to meet people before the course started. And sort of became friends then, and then stayed friends throughout the course and afterwards as well. Worked with him and Jack and Max on other things as well since then, so that's been great. And he sort of just approached me one day with the script for Sobriety, sort of said, what do you think of this? Kind of got you in mind for Jess, which was brilliant. And yeah, just took it from there really.
I've known Craig probably, I think it's 2.5 years. We met at the Manchester meet-up for the National Youth Film Academy, where we both worked together in the same group. And basically we've worked together since then on various like small projects here and there. And we've always been in touch, and like even now, like on the side, we're doing a few like mini short films and stuff. But obviously with COVID and everything, that's been sort of put on the back burner. But he just approached me with this script and said, what do you think of this? And it was, I just loved the idea, and I love the characters in it and stuff. So I was eager to get involved.
What was it that most drew you to the script and your character?
Well, it's really quite interesting and refreshingly serious and in-depth kind of role, because with a lot of short films, the characters tend to be, there's not a lot of time for characterization sometimes, and there's only so much you can do with a character. You can do a lot with a small amount of screen time, but it's nice to be in a project where you've actually got the scope of being able to go to those kind of depths with the character. It's a very, very flawed character. It's a very flawed character, but very relatable, I think.
Craig said before, it's a tale of sort of like vengeance, but it's also a tale of like, you know, it's because it's about family at the end of the day, but it's also about like the limits that you can sort of like push that, because they obviously say blood is thicker than water, but how far can you really take that before it just becomes like you're taking advantage kind of thing. So it's just a really interesting idea that to explore that and to see what sort of lengths like brotherly love can be pushed. And it's interesting because you see that sort of love between them, but you also see how like a very traumatic thing between the two of them is impacting them both separately, but also at the same time, like in one way.
In Jess, I love that her character, she's so caring about everyone, and in some ways it's hard for her to be caught in the middle of a very intense relationship between two brothers, and the whole script is very emotionally charged, and to be caught in such an emotional situation where she just wants to do her best. Everyone really is just trying to do their best and help everyone. That she kind of gets caught in this dilemma, and it's how she kind of deals with that, where her loyalties lie and where Callum's loyalties lie in regards to Bradley. That she just is, I don't know, she's just trying her best to help out, and she's so caring. But I love the fact that her relationship with both Callum and Bradley is very emotional, because the moment someone in need starts relying on you for help, you get caught in a very intense relationship with them, and it becomes complicated and really intense. And I kind of love that about Craig's writing, the way he's kind of put in all this emotion in these characters, and they're brilliant and they're fully fleshed out. And it's a very character-based script, and that's what I really liked about it, reading it. Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle with their relationship to things like alcohol or other things that you can get addicted to very easily, because these things are readily available, you know, whether that's binge watching TV or whether that's having a little bit too much to drink when you're out and about and drinking. And so the challenges that Bradley faced felt very real.
Well, I certainly like a good drink, I will admit, but I don't know. I think I'd like to think I'm more like Cal. I'd like to think I've got a little bit more like.
A little bit more like what, Jack?
So rude, honestly.
Because we've all been there, caught in the middle of a situation that's very complicated, very out of hand, and you don't know what to do. and you're just trying your best to help people. We've all been there. So I definitely relate to her in that sense. And I think it's really interesting to see how she handles it and how she acts. So yeah, I definitely relate to her and her sort of need to care. I like to think I'm quite caring. So yeah, that too.
So many. No. It's really good. It's really good. I'm writing a lot of things. The nice thing working with Craig is that I'm also a writer as well, so I can. I like to think I can understand where he's coming from, and I can sort of see what he's going for when he writes a character in a script, and I can see how the script is put together to give this particular feeling. So, yeah, I'm writing a fair few things. I've got 1 or 2 short films that I think I can shoot pretty much just around my house, around my neighbourhood, so I'll be able to do those hopefully during lockdown, if there's more coming. I am acting in this. I'm soon going to be directing my next project, which is a relief because it's actually been a little while for me. I was recovering from some surgery on my leg, and Craig was very nice at writing that into the script so that I could perform the role while I was still on the mend. Fun for continuity now, though. I have to remember how to limp and put on a leg brace. But yeah, no, it's good. So yeah, quite a few projects: writing, directing, dabbling in a little bit of music now and then as well. But mostly just trying to get my own projects underway.
Well, I started up when I was very young. I did a lot of theatre. I sort of started in primary school, and kind of passion sort of stemmed from there. I did it throughout high school and college, and I'm now studying at a uni. But from there, I got a real interest in acting for camera. I think in some ways it's more personal. It feels a bit more real sometimes. Obviously, not all films and not all theatre, but on the whole. So yeah, I started acting for camera when I was about 15. And so yeah, I've been doing that ever since.
What are you most looking forward to in terms of shooting, or has it already happened?
Yeah,
in terms of
quite early on. Well, there's a couple more physical scenes where I've got to really kind of put up a bit of a fight against Jack. He's going to be like manhandling me up a staircase at one point or something, and I'm going to be struggling. I'm going to be trying to bash down doors and that kind of thing. So that's going to be cathartic, I think.
Well, there's certain things that I'm really excited about that I can't reveal, but then there's a lot of like really.
Well, we started shooting my funeral scene today, which is great. So maybe being thrown in a body bag. It gave me goosebumps. It was like attending my own funeral. Really weird. But kind of, I don't know, really interesting. Yeah. Because it wasn't me, obviously. It had Jess written on the coffin, but it kind of felt like it was me.
There's a lot of scenes between me and Max that are very personal, between the two brothers. So I'm kind of looking forward to, because before lockdown and stuff, me and Max met up to do like rehearsals and stuff to sort of get to know the script and the characters a bit. Just before we started initially shooting and everything, and the interaction between the two brothers was like, I found it was quite intense, but it was quite stimulating as well, because it was quite exciting that we both just sort of jumped into it, and some of it was improvisation, and then obviously we sort of tried to interpret the dialogue in our own ways, and it came out as something like that we didn't necessarily expect it to, but it just seemed to work really well, and I genuinely started to sort of see him like as a brother, like looking at it through the eyes of the character as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to sort of exploring that like properly, like when we come to film those interpersonal scenes.
Favourite sandwich filling?
Favourite sandwich filling?
Tuna.
Why?
This is delicious.
Favourite sandwich filling? You know, after a Christmas dinner and you put all the leftovers in a butty.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered a career in cyber?
Ooh.
I sort of, people say that I could be good at it, but I just don't know it yet. But who knows? You know, who knows?
I almost don't want you to say the question again, but please say the question again.
If you were involved in a three-person human centipede, would you rather be front, middle, or back?
Middle.
Really?
Oh. Big fat ass.
Does jealousy have value in driving humans to improve themselves, or is it purely a negative emotion?
You what, sorry?
He came out with a sensible question.
Does jealousy have value in driving humans to improve themselves, or is it a purely negative emotion?
I think jealousy. I think in general, it can be quite negative because it starts off from somewhere that means that you're not happy with yourself, and I think that in itself can be quite negative. I think that can come from a place deep down that helps you strive to improve yourself and make yourself better. So that was positive. That's a good driving force. But then I think there's a point that it reaches, and then that's negative as well. It can go too far. Everything's fine in moderation, as we've said.
Because I'm not getting anything directly into my mouth and it'll be already passing. Oh no, wait.
Why do you have your jacket closed?
Well, funny story is on the way to this very shoot, I had everything organised. I was bang on time and everything. Got on the train and it can't have been more than 30 seconds. Spilled coffee on my pristine white shirt, which was part of like a funeral scene, so it had to look really neat. But thankfully my jacket has buttons and I have it tied, and it felt like dead in the middle, so I could just wear it comfort. And it also just looks a bit trendier, I guess. Gotta look dapper, haven't you?
Have you got any celebrity lookalikes?
Every now and then someone says I look like Daniel Radcliffe. I like to think on a good day I look like Michael Fassbender, but...
Why are you not wearing any pants?
Why do you know this?
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I never turn up with pants to a shoot because it just restricts you so much on set, do you know what I mean? And besides, you know, you like to have a few giggles on set, you know, it's... That came out so wrong.
Who's giggling? You know that you're not wearing pants or
oh, well,
we
I don't
do
think
know?
any of us are here for a serious conversation right now, but it's fine, it's fine.
Have you got any celebrity lookalikes?
I like to think on a good day I look like Max Albrecht.